Hey, I'm Morgan from the Very Unofficial Travel Guides. In December 2019, after years of running this channel as a hobby, I decided to take a huge leap of faith and gave up my 9-to-5 to spend a year traveling full-time for YouTube. Then Corona hit. Bummer! Now, as the end of 2020 rolls in, I'm trying to catch up on my travel dream and take advantage of as many opportunities as I can from my home base here in Northern Europe. If you like cruise ships, theme parks, food, and hotels with totally unacceptable bathroom doors, you're in the right place. Subscribe if you're new and enjoy the adventures. On my last cruise through the Skerries of Sweden, we passed a ferry with a really odd-looking spinning tower on its top deck. I joked about it in the video, but many of you sent me links to information about the ship. The spinning tower is actually a very high-tech sail that was developed in Germany and uses the Magnus effect to push the ship forward. And here I was thinking it was a spinning smokestack. We passed it again on our way into Stockholm, but there was very little wind, so it wasn't spinning. This area of the world is someplace I don't think I would have ever seen if it hadn't been for cruising, and I was really looking forward to slowly floating through it again and taking more time to just look at the islands, the water, the houses, and once again, it reminded me of time spent in the Northwoods of Wisconsin and in Minnesota in my childhood. It all just seems so peaceful and so perfect. It's hard to imagine that people who live here also get stressed about dentist appointments and show up late for meetings and argue with their kids, but I'm sure they do. And maybe they deal with things here in this beautiful landscape that we don't have to worry about, when we live in the big city. Like evil Swedish zombie fish that shoot poison out of their eyes at children who walk too close to the water without a life jacket on. I tell you, you might think it would be amazing to live someplace like this, but damn, at least you don't have to deal with that crap. Now, just relax and watch the world go by. I'll be back in a few minutes for lunch. We came down to the really darn healthy bistro for lunch, and I'm so excited that we get to eat here again and that Marcus gets to experience too. And the dips that I got, every time I came last time on the last ship came as well, but they're in a different order. And that's a lot of what I've been noticing on these two ships, that they're really basically the same ship, and it's just really small things that make them different from each other, things that are almost not worth talking about. Like, for instance, on the MeinSchiff 2, that dip was always in the middle, and here it's the other way around. But is that really anything even worth mentioning? I don't know. And also on the MeinSchiff 2, I didn't automatically get a ginger shot, but they brought that here as well. Not complaining. Marcus got some kind of spicy shrimp soup. It smells fishy. A beautiful view and some very interesting looking food. According to the menu, this is chili con carne. But if you ask me, it just looks like a bunch of steak and popcorn, which might be interesting. And this is the same salad that I got a couple weeks ago on the MeinSchiff 2, and it looks a little different. This is from last week, and this is this week. But I'm sure it's going to taste good.
This morning I couldn't wake you up. Around 5's when you were asleep. I'm happy to wait for a while.
Here's another one for you wake fans. We're at the sun deck, the suite-only sun deck way at the back of the ship now. I was here yesterday too, and that's where these are also a different category of suite that are really big and really cool, but no private balcony. And it was interesting. I was really excited about going back to that healthy bistro. compared to the other ship, the service was not so good. It took a long time, and somebody came to the table, I think, 2 or 3 times to ask, have you already ordered? And it's like, shouldn't you know that? And then I got that bowl that I ate like 3 times on the other ship that was so good. And it was all the same ingredients, but it seemed to be prepared differently, and it was a smaller portion. So, you know, just a little bit disappointing. I mean, not a huge complaint, but just something I noticed. You know, I think it's tough when you have a product like, you know, like a cruise ship or a theme park or some kind of attraction where there's several of them and you want to keep the quality of everything the same. It takes a really strong, like, upper management team that is constantly going around and looking at what's being done. I mean, like, if we're talking about the food, somebody, you know, originated the recipe for that bowl, and they created it and they decided this is how it's supposed to be. And then somebody needs to learn from that person and then go on to the MeinSchiff 2 and the MeinSchiff 1 and teach the people there exactly how it's supposed to be. And then somebody who's on that ship has to keep up with, you know, quality control. But I know from my experience in jobs I've done how difficult that can be and how quickly things can morph into something else. And then, yeah, guests can be disappointed, kind of like I am now, but in a very minor way because it was still pretty good.
Feeling is right with you.
Back up at our cabin and looking out at some of these amazing dwellings. I mean, really, I'm gonna try to zoom in. I know the quality's not gonna be that good, but check out this place. Not bad, but also consider in just probably a few weeks' time, it's gonna be freezing cold here because it's already almost October. And then, you know, how much do you enjoy living right here when it's freezing cold and blowy and windy and snowy every day? And since we're back up here at our lounge, like I promised myself, ooh, dang it, gross. I should have promised myself to do it slower. Coast. And to you too. Not bad. It's not as dry as some sparkling wines, you know. This isn't real champagne, it's sparkling wine because it's not from the Champagne region, and I think that they would call this Prosecco maybe. And you know, sometimes it's so dry, you take a sip of it and it feels like somebody put like a Kleenex over your tongue. But this is a little bit sweet, a little bit prickly. Can't be mad about that. We're in the old harbor now, where great big ships like we're on usually don't come anymore, but it's like a special thing for these trips that we're doing, or that I've been doing. And you can see, or I don't know if you can see it, but look at how this is shaking. That started when they like turned the thrusters on. You see it vibrating? It's like a little earthquake. Just another special free feature on this cruise. Jeez, now it is really vibrating. What if all of a sudden it was like, whoosh, just explodes in glass shards? I'm just gonna relax here and lean on the railing with my Prosecco. Now that the sun is behind the clouds, it's getting a little chilly out there, so I decided to come inside We're getting to the dock, actually. I think if it's like my last cruise like this will be the only time that we actually touch land. And on the last cruise that I did, the ship that I'm on right now was here, and we got up really close to the side of it, and everybody went to the balconies and to the outside decks and cheered to each other, and it was kind of cool. But this time, it's just us. You can see here on the television where we are and how far we had to go to get here. Oh, that's kind of nauseating. But yeah, that's where the map says we are, and this is what it looks like outside. Look, there's a big dome up there. What is that? Is that like a planetarium maybe? Or a copy of Spaceship Earth? I know, I have to somehow relate everything to Disney World, don't I? I have no idea if we are, if anything is going to like actually come onto the ship here, you know, like groceries, supplies, whatever, or fuel. But I do know that we are going to stop here for, I think they said, a half an hour. But just to remind you, nobody will be allowed to leave the ship and nobody will be boarding the ship. So it's just they call it a technical stop. There are cruises at the moment, cruises in Greece and in Italy, also on MeinSchiff and also on MSC, where ship guided excursions are allowed, but the only way you can leave the ship is if you take one of the excursions and you have to stay with the group. You cannot leave their supervision, basically. It's like going on a field trip in high school, I guess. And check this out, this restaurant, Capo S Chiara, they have one little balcony right there. Can you imagine eating there? That would be kind of cool, but also kind of scary. Don't drop your fork. And on one of the very first of those cruises, I know that an entire family was denied reboarding to the ship because they left their excursion. So drama. But here, we're just stopping, and then we're gonna continue right back out the way we came in. Over here on the bed, we have another blanket animal. This time it's obvious what it is. I mean, the animal yesterday was kind of hard to identify, but it's obvious what this is. It's obviously a sperm, just saying. And our chocolates today are flavored with strawberry. They've been flavored every time, like with orange or raspberry. Today is strawberry, which I definitely will like better than orange. And I just cannot get enough of this gigantic window. Isn't that amazing? Once again, so grateful for this experience. And I think that it's nap time. And I definitely wanted to get some gelato today. And we were trying to decide, would gelato be better before nap time or after nap time? And we decided it's better to do it after nap time because we'll be more active right after we ate it, and then it's less likely to collect on our hips. Any nutrition experts out there that can confirm or deny that, write it in the comments below. So it's nap time now, and then gelato.
Would you stay till the morning light, or would you follow me, or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy. Or would you stay with me now till the morning light? Before you turn away, I just want you to know that I didn't throw your stuff away. Before you make up your mind that I'm nowhere to find, I'm standing right here. I know that I told you we're over. I swear that I'm sober. Just listen, I miss you. And I know that I said all these things, but now when you're with her, I can see that you miss me. Would you stay till the morning light, or would you follow me, or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy. it too. I know that I told you we're over. I swear that I'm sober. Just listen, I miss you. And I know that I said all these things, but now when you're with her, I can see that you miss me. Would you stay till the morning light, or would you follow me, or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy, or would you stay with me now till the morning light? Stay till the morning light, or would you follow me, or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy, or would you stay with me